Hello everybody, happy Monday, it's science time. But we're no longer looking at plants. You've done so much excellent work over the last few weeks looking at plants. Together we've been working on this one in our Zoom class. But as you can see, a lot of other work that we've been doing together in our classes online are up here on your science wall, ready for you to come back to ISC. You guys have been labeling plants, you've been telling me the jobs of the different parts of plants, you've been identifying different types of plants, you've been learning about different habitats and the types of plants that grow in those different habitats. We've even planted things ourselves and done an experiment to see how plants grow the best. Well, thank you for working so hard on this, but it's time to move on to something new. And I hope you're ready. We're still going to be looking at living things like plants, but this time it's going to be all about different animals. That's right. Last month we were looking at living things such as plants, but this month we'll be looking at living things such as animals. I'm back in the eco class here at BGB. And again, we're going to be coming back and doing some more studying here when we come back together. Did you know that there are 6 different types of animals? Within those 6 types of animals, there are many, many species of different animals. We're going to be looking at mammals.
Like monkeys. Or tigers.
Birds.
Cluck, 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 cluck. I like chicken, I like beef, I like walking in the grass. Cluck, 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 cluck. Quack, 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 quack. Or ducks that like the rain and water.
Fish. Goldfish. Swim, 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 swim.
Sharks.
Baby shark, baby shark, baby shark, baby shark. Amphibians.
Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Froggies in the mud. Boing, 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 boing.
Reptiles.
Slippery snakes in the grass.
And insects.
All like itchy and armies. They're everywhere.
And within those 6 different types of animals, we can look at lots and lots of different species of animals. Some of them are carnivores and predators. Some of them are herbivores, and they are the prey. They are what predators prey upon. Alongside learning about different types of animals and species within those types of animals, we'll be looking at the food chain, starting at the bottom, those that are always eaten, such as insects and bugs, and then moving upwards all the way up to the top, the biggest predators, such as you and me. We are actually at the top of the food chain, but we'll come along to that later. Today, we're just going to have a very quick introduction about different types of animals. We're learning their different names, so let's practice one more time together. We've got mammals. Can you say that with me? Mammals. We've got birds. Can you say that with me? Birds. We have fish. Say that with me. Fish. We have amphibians. That's a tricky one. Can we say that together? Amphibians. Okay. Reptiles. Can we say that again? Reptiles. And lastly, insects. One more time, insects. Let's take a look at these different types of animals and we can look at some examples together. So we are looking at some of the different animal groups today. I've obviously shown you a few of them in different places. Did you know that there were so many different animals around BGV? I didn't either. Well, here's just a few of some more. So here's an example of a mammal. Here we have a reptile, an amphibian, a fish, an insect, and of course a bird. So let's quickly review the names and the spelling of these different types of animals. Did you know that there are millions and millions of animals all around the world? And they're all different from each other. Now, to make it easier for us to be able to identify some of the similarities, we split them into 6 different groups. This makes it easier for us and scientists and people that are professional about animals. They can then categorize them into their particular groups. These animals are grouped by their features and their characteristics. Now, features and characteristics means what is special about them. What makes those different animals different from another group of animals? When we group them together, why is it that those are all similar and why are they different from another group? It's what makes them special. Now, we've talked about some of the different types of animals and I've said their names, but let's look at their spellings. So the 6 groups are mammals. So here I would like you very carefully to look at this key vocabulary. It's important that we learn the spellings for all of these names and different types of animals. We have reptiles, amphibians. That's one of the more tricky spellings, so it's important that we learn this key vocabulary. Insects, birds, and of course, fish. Take a moment to review the 6 spellings in front of you. Some of them are going to be in your spelling test with Miss Karpati this week. Okay, let's take a closer look at these different groups, and we'll learn some facts about them. First, let's look at mammals. Mammals breathe air. They need oxygen to be able to breathe. All mammals have a backbone. That's the spine that goes right the way down the middle of our backs. All mammals grow hair. We have hair on the top of our heads, and other animals like bears or dogs, they have fur all over their bodies. Female mammals can produce milk. For example, female cows, they can produce milk, and that's where we get our milk from. Mammals are some of the most intelligent living creatures. Intelligent means that they're very, very smart. Like humans, we've been able to make huge societies. But if you look at other animals like tigers and lions that are mammals, they are very, very intelligent to be able to catching their prey. Other animals like monkeys, they're able to think like humans. They're able to perform and use their hands like humans. There are over 5,000 different species of mammals around the world. And of course, very importantly, all mammals are warm-blooded. So let's take a look at some different types. We've got the polar bear, the tiger, a rabbit, a horse, and of course, you and I, humans. So now let's have a look at reptiles. Reptiles are cold-blooded. Now, this is very important and very different from humans. It means that their bodies react very quickly to where they are. If they're cold, they can go to the sun to warm them up. If they're too hot, they'll go into the water or a cool, shady place to cool their bodies down. Their bodies are covered in scales. We'll look more closely at reptiles and we'll zoom in to see what scales look like when we look at them closely. All reptiles are born on the land, but when they're born, they are left by their parents to go and fend and grow for themselves. They lay eggs, and here are some different pictures of them. We have the iguana, the snake, the alligator, and of course, the turtle. Let's take a closer look at amphibians. Now, amphibians, they're very clever. They can live on both land and water, so they can breathe on the land and they can breathe in water. They start their lives in the water. They will have gills to breathe, which is like fish, and they will have tails. But they can then grow lungs and legs, which means they're able to live on the land as well. Amphibians, just like reptiles, are also cold-blooded. There are 4,000 different species of amphibians around the world. That is a lot. They have webbed feet. Now that means that there is some skin between their toes. So we'll look more closely at them. If you've seen frogs, you'll know what I mean. Their skin is very smooth, which means that when they're in the water doesn't stay on their skin when they come onto the land. Here we have a frog. Oh, I wonder what this one's called. Have you seen this before? It's called a newt, and we generally find these in ponds and rivers. What about this one? It's not a frog, it's a toad. Toads are a little bigger than frogs. So let's move on to insects. I'm not a big fan of insects, but I know that's very silly. Insects will have 6 legs. Now that's very important, which means that a spider, because it has 8 legs, is actually not an insect. But we'll look at that another time. Their body is divided into 3 parts, and if you've ever looked at an ant closely, you'll see it has a head, a body, and a bottom part. Some insects have wings. Their bodies are very, very hard. They have a shell-like exterior, which helps to protect them. They have antennae on their head, and that helps them to sense their surroundings. And again, all insects are born from eggs. Here we have some different types of beetles. There's a ladybird, a beautiful butterfly, and here we have the general fly. So let's have a look at birds now, shall we? Birds, like humans, are warm-blooded. They have feathers all over their body, which I'm sure that you know. All birds, they don't have mouths, they have what we call beaks. They don't have teeth, they use their beaks to rip at what they eat. Of course, birds have wings, which help them to fly, and as well, they lay eggs. Here are some different types of birds. We have the robin, we have the toucan, we have an eagle, and we have the parrot at the bottom here. They're very colorful. Look at that majestic eagle with that huge wingspan. Finally, let's move on to some fish. Fish, as we know, they live in the water. They have fins which help them to swim and guide them along. Their gills, which are on the sides, are for breathing. They are also cold-blooded. They do have skeletons. Of course, we know that if you've eaten fish before, you know that inside they have bones. And their bodies also are covered in scales. Here's a goldfish. I'm not sure of this name. We'll have to find that one out. That's a pufferfish.
And again, I'm not sure of that one, but we can find it out. It looks a little like a type of rainbow fish. And this one, I believe, is a trout. But we'll look at the names of these different types of fish when we learn about them. Okay, I hope you've been listening really carefully because before we go, we're going to review some of this learning with a little quiz. I'm going to show you some pictures of some animals, and I want you to tell me whether they are mammals, birds, fish, reptiles, amphibians, or insects. Are you ready? Let's go. So, which group do each of these animals belong to? Let's have the first one. Ooh. The next one. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Third one. Ah, too easy. Here's the next one. Almost there. And the last one. Okay, I'm going to give you 5 seconds. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's a mammal. Of course, it's a husky, a type of dog. Then, of course, we've got an ant, which is an insect. A pigeon, which is a bird. A beautiful, beautiful clownfish or Nemo as a fish. Of course, a frog, which is an amphibian. And lastly, a lizard, which is a reptile. How did you get on with these? I'm sure that you were able to name all of them. Well, again, have a look at the key vocabulary here and try to focus on maintaining that good spelling. Good luck with this and well done.
So that's a quick introduction today to start off our unit all about living things, animals, the different types and just a few examples. There's no homework for this today because we're going to explore it together a little bit more and we're going to focus on those 6 different types of animals. There will be some spellings from today, so please practice what we've done by pronouncing them. I know that Miss Karpati has taken some of those special words, the important vocabulary, like mammals and amphibians, because I gave them to her for your spelling test. Good luck with them and enjoy learning all about animals. Have a great rest of your Monday and I'll see you guys tomorrow for our Zoom class. Bye bye for now. See you later.